So been really going hard on the white paper. And then I've also been going hard on our links for the Zaal. Just trying to find more people to collaborate with and more people to help bring capital towards the musicians.
And hopefully getting more money to continue to develop an integrated app as opposed to the Zoom secondary app methodology.
Thus bringing me to the Open Source Collective, which is essentially aiming to be the central community hub for open source builders or developers.
Zain had reached out a few weeks ago, and invited me to join the Superchain incubator, an incubator to test the new interop technology that allows for seamless communication and transactions and so forth. I finished this document which explains what the Superchain interop incubator is for the developers and kind of like give an overview of like the program.
I got to deploy some stuff on base and learn a little bit about AgentKit. And then I was starting to work on a liquidity protocol, but then we decided to pivot.
Base ran a mini hackathon that took 24 hours, and it was using their mini kits.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Optimism Fractal. We're here for, I believe, our 59th, 60th event. It's our last event of Season 5, and I'm so pleased to be here with Tadas and Rosmari and Abraham and Harvesto and Howard and Jake and Zaal. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Hope that you're all having a wonderful day, and hope that you're all excited for a great event and a great episode. So if anyone wants to say hello or anything like that, then feel free. Hope everybody's pumped for the last event of the season. And I have a presentation, as always, to introduce Optimism Fractal and kick us off for the respect game and share a bit about the things we'll talk about the town hall as well. Welcome to Optimism Fractal. We are here, Superchain winning, and the grand finale of Optimism Fractal Season 5 and the third season of Optimism Town Hall. And we're closing an incredible season of respect games with, well, of course, we're going to play the respect game. We're going to share our achievements over the past couple of weeks. And also at the town hall today, we have some proposals that have been made and planning, and maybe a celebration reflection for our season that we've had, a collective celebration of achievement. So encourage everybody to like and share and so forth these great tweets from Optimistics, to invite everyone to Optimism Fractal in general. If you're not familiar with Optimism Fractal, check out optimismfractal.com. It's a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the Superchain. And we host bi-weekly events that everyone's welcome to join, and they provide a perfect place to network and make friends with builders and collaborate with pioneers on the Superchain. So each one of our events is focused around the respect game, which is an innovative and amazing on-chain social game that helps people pioneer new forms of community coordination. Basically, we each go into breakout rooms of up to about 6 people randomized, and each participant can introduce themselves and then share what they've recently done to help Optimism, help the Superchain, and then collaborate to rank each other's contributions and earn respect, which is a soulbound token that provides growing benefits as our reputation system expands. You can learn more about this all on optimismfractal.com. Of course, we produce videos and we record videos of every event, so we share them as an educational resource for people to learn about what's going on in Optimism, and also everybody's welcome to step on stage and share their work, share what they've been up to help raise awareness for what you're building. And we're building with respect too. So several great builders in the community are building what we call the Optimistics Toolkit, or Fractal Apps, an open source suite of tools for community coordination, decentralized governance, that allow people to play the respect game and make decisions collectively with respect. So Optimism Fractal is an excellent place to develop your on-chain career and business, whether you're experienced in Web3 or just starting out on-chain, or maybe if you have an organization or a community. In all these situations, Optimism Fractal can provide a lot of value and demonstrate how the respect game can help you or your community. You can grow your reputation here. All the respect scores are permanently recorded in the OP mainnet, and you can learn more about each of these in the articles that are linked all throughout the website. And yeah, we have a lot of great feedback and a lot of great benefits, so you can explore more about this, and we're very grateful everybody's enjoying it. And we're building in public with open source repositories and an Optimism Fractal Notion site, in addition to all of our videos and show notes. And of course, the Optimism Collective provides a lot of opportunities to earn funding, and Ethereum as a whole provides a lot of opportunities to earn funding too, through sources like retro funding. So encourage you to explore more about Optimism Collective and Ethereum, and you can earn by contributing to open source software and public goods and so forth. Optimism Fractal is pioneering the future of governance. Optimism Fractal is a culmination of many different communities who have been building something called fractal democracy for the past 4 years, and we carefully adhere to our protocol specifications, which you can find in the About tab in the Intents, where to show exactly how we play the respect game, make decisions. You can learn more about our history and our intents. on the website, as well as how you can get involved with the Optimism Fractal Sages Council to help make decisions for the community and express community opinions. Everyone who's earned respect can participate in there. And we're also using the ORDAO software, which we started using at the beginning of Optimism Fractal Season 5 to collectively make decisions on chain, as well as other kinds of governance protocols and systems like the HATS protocol, respect-based role allocation. We also have the Optimism Town Hall, which happens after respect games, and much more. Optimism Fractal is founded and presented by Optimistics. You can learn more at optimistics.io, and also supported with a lot of educational resources and fractal decision-making processes by Eden Fractal, which you can learn more about at edenfractal.com. And Optimism Fractal is working to support the Superchain, which is an interconnected network of blockchains scaling Ethereum on an open source code base called the OP stack. So that includes OP mainnet, Base, World, Sonium, Inc., Unichain, Zora, Mode, etc., many more. You can learn more at optimism.io, ethereum.org, base.org, etc. And the best way to get involved with Optimism Fractal is to join our bi-weekly events on Thursdays, 17 UTC. Another great way to get involved too is to watch the videos. So there's show notes, detailed show notes for each of these episodes. We are on our 60th episode, actually, to make it clear. And so encourage people to check it out. There's a lot of beautiful videos and amazing things that we've shared here over the past year and a half now. It's just about the 1.5 year anniversary of Optimism Fractal 2, by the way. So yeah, encourage people to check it out and share with friends to get more involved with Optimism Fractal. And also, you can find all these videos on the Eden Careers YouTube channel as well, which publishes both Optimism Fractal, Optimism Town Hall, Eden Fractal, and many other great shows too. So like and subscribe, and you can follow along on the Optimism governance forum too. We have a thread that's been tracking our progress throughout the season 5 with each weekly event and so forth, in addition to our Discord and so forth. I encourage you to invite friends and register for the next Optimism Fractal event, which will be occurring on May 15th, because we'll be going on a 2-event break, about a month-long break, and returning soon. So, and that leads to a brief community news section. First off, actually, I had it loading here, but maybe it's not pulling up. But Tadas deployed the Optimism Fractal ORDAO software. Yeah, there it is. You can find it in the ORDAO channel of Optimism Fractal. He deployed the respect distribution and the ORDAO software, the smart contract infrastructure for Optimism Fractal on Base. So now the Optimism Fractal community can now execute actions on Base based on this, and you can find based on this, and then you can find more details about this in the Optimism Fractal ORDAO channel. And so encourage you to check it out. And big shout out to Tadas for setting this up. There's also scripts to use for any fractal here with ORDAO in the Fraps repo. And then some more community news. I mentioned how we're going to be discussing things at Optimism Town Hall. So there's a couple proposals. We'll have like kind of an end of season celebration for anybody who's able to stick around. This will be starting at the top of the next hour in about 45 minutes. So yeah, we'll get into more detail there. But last week at the town hall, we discussed the new season we're heading into and the plans for making agreements, participant agreements too. So I encourage people to watch that video, and that's what we'll be discussing here. Rosmari put out a message here showing a couple of draft proposals, one for the seasonal structure and another for community agreements in the governance forum in Discord. And then I put out a post where I actually shared these proposals. So the one proposal has been formally submitted and is now approved by the Optimism Fractal Council, which is to start Optimism Fractal Season 6 on May 15th, following a 2-event spring break. And so you can find the proposal for more details, and we'll dive into that, as well as the top proposal for the general discussion that we'll have going forward into the Optimism Town Hall. So just want to let everybody know about that, and hope that everybody has a wonderful break after we have our final respect game and final town hall of the season. And then also quick news too, Eden Fractal does have one more event, which is going to be April 10th, and then it'll also be going on a 2-event break as well, and returning on, I think, May 22nd. So, and we had a great discussion about this, as well as some proposals for the next epoch of Eden Fractal last week. Check out the video to learn more about this, the Cosmic Captains. It was really fun and exciting. And all these events, of course, you can register for on the Optimistics event calendar. I encourage you to do so and share with friends. And with that out of the way, let's play the respect game. So we're having our last event, so we're going to be Superchain winning here, what everybody's been up to. Thanks also Rosmari and Zaal for putting out the great messages and posts to help spread the word about what we're doing here. Encourage people to check it out. And yeah, the respect game, everybody here, I'm pretty sure, is quite familiar, but basically we're going to take turns, or we're going to go into these breakout rooms, and we're going to take turns to show what we did to help Optimism, and then rank each other's contribution. And if we can rank each other's contributions and form consensus, 2/3 consensus, then we will each receive respect, and people who get higher levels will receive more respect. So you can learn more about how it works in the respect game article at optimists.io. And of course, everyone feel free to share your screens, share your links, and so forth. We're happy to help promote your work and so forth. So With that being said, also welcome Eric. Thanks for joining, and I'll start up the breakout rooms. Hey Eric, good to see you.
Hey.
Hope you're doing well. If anybody would like to go first with the respect game, then feel free. Curious to see what you've all been up to over the past week, or past 2 weeks, rather. Hey, Zaal.
I can start it up.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So in the last couple of weeks, I've been working on a bunch of different things, but a couple of the primary things have been our Zaal white paper that we've been working on. That I shared some documents a couple of weeks ago when I missed the Optimism Fractal of my draft 2 with some of Dan's edits. I've created a draft 3. I'm currently working on finalizing and finishing that, and then submitting it to some peer review individuals. So been really going hard on the white paper, and then I've also been going hard on our links for the Zaal, where we have a lot of different communities and resources that are out there, and really creating a centralized location for all of these links for our project within our community, but then also links for community members and their projects and what they're working on. So those are the two big things I've been working on in the back end. Overall, with the Zaal, we've just been moving and grooving. I actually had a chance to jump on a podcast last week that was just released this week, which was awesome. It was called A Token for Your Thoughts. Just shared a little bit about the Zaal and what we're doing. And then we're actually working on a documentary right now for our event in Miami, for our Zaal event, because we have a lot of content around it, and we really want to showcase all of the things we did. While we were down there in Miami, we also created a song, a cipher with 10 of the musicians that performed. So really working now on finalizing that, reaching out to the musicians, starting to figure out how we're going to tokenize it and how we're going to share it out and publish it. So the documentary is kind of that first step. And then from the documentary, we're going to be creating a music video. And from all that, we're just going to be showcasing a lot of the individuals that help support us for our event. So a lot of different things, maybe not as much specifically in the Optimism ecosystem. Some of the things we're working on are on base. We have our Zaal respect token that we actually officially this week had our first event where I wasn't able to make it, but we were still able to have our event, which was really cool to see. A successful iteration of what a DAO can be is where, that leader isn't there, but everything still moves on. So that was really cool. We had our 44th episode this week, and 2 of our teammates were able to host it. So those are the big things. We're working on a lot of small things, trying to find more people to collaborate with, and more people to help bring capital towards the musicians. Starting to kind of dive a little more into the Nouns ecosystem, since they have a lot of capital, but no organization. So yeah, that's a little bit about what we've been doing and cooking up. I know I got a minute and a half left, but every time I'm not sharing my screen, I feel like I always go under. Yeah, I'm gonna kick it over to Eric to go next. Excited to hear what you've been working on and what you've been cooking up.
Sounds awesome. Thanks, all. You can get going whenever you want, Eric. I have to allow Harvesto to join back into the other room right now.
Sure.
And I'll restart the timer momentarily.
Sure. Well, as everybody knows, I am trying to roll out this fractal governance layer by layer. So rather than put out a big, very intricate, complete solution that says companies, here's how you do it. I'm trying to build it with them that works with whatever they're doing. So I'm rolling out as a piece, testing it, getting it right, adding another layer, adding a layer. And I'm doing this with Abraham. So the first is getting credibility by getting my doctoral research done. The original target for launching that research was April 1st, and I got 3 organizations to commit to be volunteers. And then the federal government, they were all medically based companies that depended on government funding, and they all had their funding withheld by the current administration. So they all backed out to say, I'm sorry, we're just working on survival at the moment, but we love it. We'll get back to you if we get our funding. But regardless, so I moved the start date to May 1st, and I started recruiting organizations. So I just recruited the third one last weekend. So I now have 3 organizational volunteers. We'll see. I need to get 100 or more, so we'll see if we do that. Other than that, I've been getting ready. So I put in the form for people to sign up for the training, the intro call, and the training. So I've been putting all the forms online, and getting the emails ready to send out to be able to invite the volunteers from those 3 organizations. So those should, in fact, have a meeting with one of those organizations today to get the final approve out of my email to send out to their hundreds or thousands of people and see what we can get out there. So it's just been getting ready to set up and do things with all the restrictions that I get from the university: privacy, procedure, process, documentation. It's rigorous because it's university and doctorate. So I'm still going to recruit more because I don't know how many I'll get. So I'm not going to stop till I get well enough. And then it's 8 weeks of data collection, and then it's a couple months to write it up. And then we will roll that out then all the nonprofits. Will just start rolling it out and doing it, and hopefully getting more money to continue to develop an integrated app as opposed to the Zoom secondary app methodology. So we've already got a list of things to add to the next layer. And we've also been planning what happens after that. So after we roll out product 1 and people go, oh, this is cool, we've already working on what we're going to roll out next, which is, I think, very powerful. And so we've kind of got this stepwise process that we've been documenting on how to get companies to really, minimize dysfunction and group decision making, and do it in a way that fits with the way they do business. So it's roll, validate, and then test. Roll and test, roll and test. So that's pretty much it.
All right, wonderful. Eric, I love to see the progress, and excited for the next steps. And yeah, you still had just about a minute left if you want to add anything else, or whenever you're
I'm
ready,
trying to see if I'm hoping that the Natural History Museum will come on board. They seem really into it. They have 500 volunteers, so they're they were really excited. So we'll see. It's always with a good organization that big, it's good because they can do a lot, but it's also bad because anyone can say, well, I don't like his hair, or he's too old, too young, something. And then one person, I've learned with these things that one person can kill it for silly things, but we'll see. So far it's good news. So that I didn't include that as one of the 3. That's one of the ones I'm working on is the Natural History Museum and Clean San Diego. So I've got a lot of others that I'm following up with. But going to a lot of events, meeting a lot of people, doing a lot of talking.
All right, very cool. Sending a lot of roots and seeds for people to be doing fractal governance on Optimism. Great to hear. Thanks, Eric.
So I liked what Zaal said. So now I'm interested what Jake's going to tell us.
Thank you, Eric. Get set up real quick. So I guess I'll start. Should be seeing my screen. Yep. Okay.
Yes.
Let's ignore that a bit for now. So the past 2 weeks, I have attended a lot of meetings, a lot of like public calls, just all throughout the ecosystem, like ENS, Optimism, Gitcoin stuff, all kinds of just kind of, I guess, trying to work under the umbrella of the idea of supporting builders in the ecosystem. I think right now, especially with the economy and the markets and the cryptocurrencies, right, it seems a lot of people are hurting financially, and even companies and blockchains themselves. So funding opportunities are just kind of really, really not there at the moment. And the ones that are, like I'll show this one. There's a lot of really cool projects trying to solve problems like this. Like for instance, like if you commit to, let's see if I can find a quick good example here. Maybe not. Okay, but so essentially there's this tool here, drips.network, that kind of aims to use crypto and blockchain to reward open source developers for their contributions. And you can see here, like over $1 million has been dripped to these GitHub repositories. But then if you take a closer look, and like if you were to go to Open Zeppelin contracts, you'd probably see like a total of $20 or $30 allocated to that GitHub repository. And so open source developers aren't going to really get in on that unless they're doing it out of goodwill, which I don't think we can assume a fair ecosystem where people are doing things completely out of goodwill all of the time, because of course they need money so that they can eat and have a roof over their head. Thus, bringing me to the Open Source Collective, which is a way essentially aiming to be the central community hub for open source builders or developers. It has a community, Telegram, Discord, and now has a Twitter. It also aims to collect all of the news regarding the open source environment. Alongside, going to start building relationships with blockchains and projects to get more direct funding opportunities for open source developers. So that's the Open Source Collective. What else have I been doing? Shield that, and then there was something else. I know the Superchain interop. I'm going to mention that, Dan. Don't worry. I'm trying to think if there's something else though. I'm blanking, so let's go to it. Dan and I, he has a whole 5 more minutes to talk about it. But we started the Superchain incubator program, where it's an incubator program surrounding the Superchain. We're going to bring some Optimism Fractal ideas to it. I'm taking on the technical lead role, so learning all the new smart contract technology and building websites to interact with those smart contracts. So today was the first inauguration day, I guess you can say. So Dan and I attended the call. Tadas unfortunately couldn't make it, but he's also a part of the program. And yeah, we're going to build some pretty cool Optimism Fractal stuff for it. Yeah, I guess I'll rescind my time at this point. Thank you, guys.
Sounds great. Thanks, Jay. Maybe I could just ask a quick question. So you just built the open source collective just like over the past couple of weeks? Is that something that you decided to start? Or
yeah. I think I just had the idea one day and then a couple weeks back, and then just gradually started building things out, the idea out, and the website, Gitcoin grants profile, Twitter, etc. So yeah, it's still fairly new. It's still basically just me in it. So I would encourage you guys to join if you're interested in open source development and joining a community. Yes, so Z, thank you for asking. I'll share it here in the chat, open source collective XYZ, which is what I just showed. Contains links to the Telegram and Discord. I'll add the Twitter shortly. Yeah, hope to see you all there.
sounds great. Thanks, Jake. Looking forward to learning about this and of course collaborating with you on the interop incubator. As Zaal, our freaking baller, he loves it. So that's cool. And Zaal should share the links to, by the way, the paper.thezao.com and nexus.thezao.com after he presented too. So thanks so much, Jake. If whenever you're ready, you can pick somebody to go next.
I believe, okay. Well, Dan, if you would like to go, otherwise pass it on to Howard.
I'm happy to go. If Howard, you want to go first, I'm happy to go either way. Do you have a preference, Howard?
You can go, man.
Okay, sounds good. I'll go ahead. and start sharing my screen. Wonderful to hear everybody's contributions and all the great stuff people are doing on Optimism. And start up and share my timer, or share my screen and start the timer. Although it's always difficult for me to, I think I did the timer before I start recording, before I start sharing, because then my timer goes away. If anyone else wants to put it up, or I'll just take a note of the time right now. 31, so I'll end it by 35. Okay, so I'll share what I did to help Optimism and the Superchain over the past couple weeks. I'm Dan Singjoy. I have a website, dansingjoy.com, that people can learn to explore to learn more about me in general. And then I'll share highlights of the things I do. In general, I do a lot of work coordinating these events with Optimism Fractal, Optimism Town Hall, and Eden Fractal, and coordinating and leading a lot of efforts with the Optimistics and Eden Creators teams, hosting and facilitating all these events, and coordinating a lot with the developers to build better tools, and also coordinating with Rosmari in marketing and doing website development. So there's like some constant things I'm doing in addition to fundraising efforts and so forth. So just like a high level overview, just to keep in mind, because difficult to say a lot of the stuff in 4 minutes. So this past week, so for one thing, I hosted the Optimism Town Hall event last week. And then that leads into the things I shared before, which I'll share more at the town hall. I put out these both like messages and topic proposals and actual proposals and draft proposals for Optimism Fractal for the next season to position the community for maximum success. And so, yeah, I'll go into more detail there, but it provides an overview of what we can discuss during the final event of the season, as well as this proposal, which was approved to start Optimism Fractal Season 6 on May 15th after a 2-week break. And then also a draft proposal to implement an Optimism Fractal participant agreement as well, which is quite detailed. So, or at least the agreement is pretty simple, but like these documents are pretty more complex. As Jacob mentioned, and I mentioned, I think the last respect game, Zain from the Superchain Interop team. I met him in Denver, and then I also met Hamdi, who works with him on Superchain Interop technology, and then that led to a great conversation. They shared some of these tweets about a month ago or something like that, or 2 months ago. And then, yeah, Zain had reached out a few weeks ago, and invited me to join the Superchain Interop incubator, an incubator to test the new interop technology that allows for seamless communication and transactions and so forth between OP mainnet base, Inc, Unichain, all the different Superchain networks. And so that's a project I've been working on a lot this week. I coordinated with Howard a lot, and I met with Howard, and I met with Jake, and I also met with Vlad and Tadas, and messaged Abraham. So I was going back and forth messaging developers all week, working to assemble a team and figure out the right way to build a team, as well as thinking about things to do to build in the best way. And we did get our team finalized and then participated in the first event today, as well as the onboarding meeting yesterday. I finished this document, which explains what the Superchain Interop Incubator is for the developers, and kind of like give an overview of like the program and stuff like that. So that there's a lot of work that went into that too, just explaining, and then a bunch of ideas that I'd come up with over the past couple weeks for things we can build. And then this week specifically, in addition to finishing that, I came with an idea to further build a Kagendas app as well, and start talking about that with Vlad. And that works with this Ethereum respect system idea too that we might wind up building. In addition, I also got lost. Where am I right now? I think I went to the wrong slide here. Yeah, I should be here. I also made a Gitcoin application too. I coordinated with Vlad and Tadas to make a Gitcoin application for GG23 to support the open source software that they've built so far with ORDAO and the Respect.Games app. So it's quite comprehensive and stuff like that. And we appreciate any support there. And also have been coordinating a project with doing research on Gitcoin grants 2023. And I hosted an Eden Fractal event, Cosmic Captains, exploring plans for Epoch 2, and made some proposals for new funding mechanisms. I made this detailed article to introduce people to these proposals and kick off the event, and then went back and forth with Tadas a lot on these ideas for implementing ORDAO and starting to play the respect game at Eden Fractal, and implementing the Captain's Council, a consensus process for Eden Fractal, as well as a Fractal Fellowship program and a Fractal Development Fund as well that I'm planning to seed with an initial $10,000 or initial $1,000. And then I also gave pretty detailed feedback to Zaal on the Zaal white paper as well, about how we could implement or how we could highlight the respect game and fractal governance more in there, and messaged him about it a few times in the chat. And then I also had a meeting with community manager from VDao as well, and I'll be giving a talk about the respect game and fractal governance on VDao. VDao is a really cool regenerative network state project. So I think that's probably been about 4 minutes for me. So I will stop there, and I'll pass it on to Howard.
All right. Dan, you're a busy bee, man.
That's right. Been buzzing around.
So yeah, for me, I haven't been doing too much. After ETH Denver, I took a week to decompress, but I got to deploy some stuff on base and learn a little bit about Agent Kit, and then I was starting to work on a liquidity protocol, but then we decided to pivot because with the amount of time that we were putting in. Um, we weren't putting in too much time. It was kind of like a side project, and we decided that it would probably take too long, and it was too high risk of a project to do as like a part, kind of like a part-time thing. So we're pivoting to something that's going to be a little bit more fun. That hopefully we actually have some stuff on test nets by the time plan on deploying on base. By the time we start these fractal groups up again, and hopefully I can show you that. But other than that, I've just been doing life and my full-time job. So that's about it for me.
Sounds good, Howard. If you want, you still have a few more minutes left. You went pretty quick there. And I know like it was really nice talking with you, by the way, when we met on, I guess that was Saturday or something like that. So I really appreciate you meeting with me there. And then if you want to, I mean, I don't think you've given updates here at Optimism Fractal since you came before ETH Denver. So if you want to provide any updates for a longer time period or go into any more details about any of those things that you're planning to deploy on base, I'd love to hear more of it, but it's up to you. But feel free to share more if you'd like to.
Yeah, so me and my buddy, there's a he was showing me something that they used to do on Reddit where you could like change the color of pixels on like a canvas. So we're gonna try to do something like that on chain, where it's like sort of like a live organic thing where you can like change like a pixel on a canvas and like start to like try to draw a picture, like we're collaboratively to draw like a picture. So we'll see how that goes. We'll probably start. I'll probably start building. We met about it yesterday, so we'll probably start building that. I'll probably start coding tomorrow because I'm on court most of the day today.
All right, very interesting. Looking forward to learning more about that project. I'm familiar with base paint. I just shared the link to basepaint.xyz. I don't know if that's similar to what you're thinking about doing, but it's a really cool project that's on base. They joined Optimism Town Hall, Optimism Fractal, and we did retro pitches back a long time ago. And so might want to look into that for inspiration. And also, congrats, by the way, on winning the hackathon too, or winning some portion of the hackathon with the AI agent poker game too. So.
Yeah, we won a little bit of money from base, so that was nice.
Okay, well, very cool. If there's anything else you want to share, then feel free, Howard. Always great to hear from you, and I love hearing all these details about the things you're building. But if you want to leave it at that, then you're also welcome to as well. But you have a bit more time if you want to share anything else.
No, I'm good. I'm short and sweet and to the point. So
All right, sounds good. Very sweet. All right. I see Zaal wrote, Howard, what's your X? I don't know if Howard's on X, Twitter. Howard, I don't know if you want to share that in the chat or something like that. I'd love to follow
I
you there if
am
not.
I am not on X actually. So
Okay.
I do my best to stay off social media.
Okay. Well, Howard's asking Howard, where can I find you? Or Zaal's asking that. Okay, baller. He says, Zaal's pretty funny with
Uh,
his comments.
yeah, let me look at my Warpcast account. I
Oh,
go on there
yeah.
occasionally.
I think
I
Howard is
get
just
the
Howard.
notifications at least. Or Telegram, you can do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did just get Howard. It
Yeah, that is
was
baller.
pretty early on Warpcast.
Howard was the first person on Warpcast.
Yeah, it's at Howard. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Zaal's
Yeah,
at
it's
Zaal
at
on
Howard.
cool. And Zaal is at Zaal apparently too. All right, very cool. I encourage everybody to
So
follow.
fake.
What's that? They're so big? Never mind, I guess. All
Yeah,
right.
I said so big. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, encourage everybody to follow Howard and Zaal and me on Warpcast and get it on Warpcast, decentralized social media on Optimism, and can see the reluctance about being on X. If anybody has any questions or comments for anybody, then or any other questions or comments for anybody, then now is a good time to ask. We're kind of doing well with our timing right now because we don't have 20 minutes until we need to get back to the breakout room, or 19 minutes, but we can always get back early because the other room might end early. So if anybody had anything else and they wanted to ask each other or share, then feel free. Or if there's anything else, like I know Jacob, you were trying to remember something that you did. If anybody has anything quick that they remember that they want to add, then feel free. I'm gonna log into the fractalgram app right now and just create the room. So I'll have the room ready so everybody can get started voting in like a minute or so.
Um, I guess I'm going to share my screen again, but Dan, feel free to cut me off once you get that going.
Okay.
I figured out what I forgot to show. Nothing big. More or less just a cool thing that kind of shows. So over the past 24 hours, submissions closed 2 hours ago. And Base ran a mini hackathon that took 24 hours. And it was using their mini kits. So again, going back to that Warpcast conversation, mini apps, right? Just little mini apps within your social feed. They built a framework that allows you to pretty easily make one of those. And they had a huge emphasis on AI coding using Cursor. And so it actually worked pretty well for at least creating the groundwork for projects, which is pretty cool, right? So my idea was just a simple RPG type game where you attack, and there you go. And like 95% of this is quote unquote vibe coded. So that's new to me. It's just interesting to see if anybody has any interest in any of that. You can log in. The idea is you can log in, save your progress. My grand idea for this was having like one boss that everybody fights when they connect. So essentially, you would have the entire Farcaster community attacking this same boss and collectively taking it down. But I think there's some logistics I got to figure out if I want to continue onward with this. So that was pretty cool. That was in the base ecosystem, so I thought I'd mention it. And then,
hey Jake, this is great. I just want to jump in real quick, and you can continue. I think you're going to say more, but Howard, I just want to check. You have two accounts in the Fractalgram app. One is Heavy H, and one is How the Cow. If you could let me know which one you prefer for me to add to you. I don't know if you have access to both, or if one's better than the other. And Howard, if you want to just maybe write that in the chat.
The one with the wallet 0xe6a12.
Okay, sounds good. All right, I'll start the group now. Share the link. Jake, if you want to continue and wrap up whatever you're doing pretty soon.
Yeah. I can stop sharing, but just one last thing to say regarding Eric. Kind of taking the same approach as you with what you're doing instead of building for the open source collective. Building what's required right now rather than these. It kind of going what I was saying with the Drips network, right? Like they're trying to build out the whole system and solve the problem all at once. And then I think we see it everywhere with like Gitcoin and most notably, I'll say Gitcoin. But just trying to tackle the problem completely. And then we kind of see a lot of these drawbacks kind of happen. So it's cool to see that you and I are kind of taking the approach of let's tackle the problem right here, right now, like that everybody is immediately facing and try to immediately solve it and then expand outward from there. So just
Well, it really comes from two different ideas. One is how do we build this organization? So what they're doing is creating tools based on all the experience we have of running fractals and this. The approach I'm making is how do we get this into other organizations? And they're a lot more resistant, saying we figured out everything for you, and here's how you're going to do it. You can do that, but that is a lot bigger. That's a whole marketing awareness campaign just to get them to say, okay, yeah, I will change things. When they say, you know what you're doing now, this hardly impacts that at all. Hardly any time, no administration time, no server time. This is so easy, and that's the toe in the water that I want to get them hooked, because then it's easy to say, oh, and if you like that, you won't believe this, and if you like that, you won't believe this, because the ultimate target for me is to ensure that nonprofits can sustainably and resiliently deliver and grow their operations and their services in any economic environment. And part of that is a um, people part, which is what I'm working on, a strategy part, which we also have a product on that fits into this, and a tools and technology part. So I'm taking those three different things to kind of insinuate and make them work together at the come together in the big picture, but do in a way that seems natural and normal to them. So I like what we're doing. I'm just not presenting it as here you go, here's one solid thing on exactly what you do it, because then you have to say, well, training, and have to answer questions. How are we going to implement that? And what's the budget? And so your sales cycle for that can be 1 to 3 years in some cases, where the sales cycle for what I'm doing is, hey, you got 15 minutes?
All right. Well, great. Thanks, Eric, for sharing more details on what you're working on and the perspective. And thanks, Jacob, for sharing more about uh, what you recently built too. And we do only have about 10 minutes left. So I shared the link to the game and the Zoom chat. It's game number 142. So if everybody can please join there. And if anybody has any quick thoughts or questions along the way, then feel free. But otherwise, yeah, it'd be good to start coming to consensus. So far, it looks like we haven't had a vote from Eric and Zaal yet. Zaal says sorry, no problem. Okay, Zaal's joining now. So far, we have it's like 2 votes for me, 1 vote for Eric, and 1 vote for Zaal. Hmm. I'm excited to see what the scores will be, and yeah, it's the last respect game that we'll have in a while too. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again after the break too. And then, oh, Zal said, "Oh dang, I forgot my work Wi-Fi doesn't allow it. Let me see if I have a solution." Okay, in the future, that's another thing that I actually worked on this week. I forgot to mention, but like, and that's something that you'd be interested in too, Eric, like creating user guides and like best practices guides and stuff like that. And something that I should do as a host is share that link sooner in the group so that everybody can get their Wi-Fi figured out sooner and stuff like that. So that's a good thing that I should add there actually, because there's like a big element of facilitating it well. Okay, Zal said he's gonna need to go get service. Okay, Zal. Well, I don't want to make you. I look like maybe you're on a job too, so I don't want to make you change what you're doing too. So if you can get Wi-Fi and solution easily, then that would be cool and appreciate. But if you're not able to, then that's okay. I think we can work around it too. So if anyone wants to advocate for who they voted for and why, then feel free to do it. I think we can reach consensus without Zaal. Okay. Or also, Zal, you could also maybe just like write it in the chat too, if you want. That might be a way to do it. Okay. And so Zal said that works, and I think he said Dan to vote for me. So if that's yes, okay. So thanks for the vote, Zal. And so that means that I have 3 votes out of 5, which is still not consensus at 60%, and Eric and Zal each have 20%. Would anybody like to advocate either way, or? I'll say in this case,
I voted for you, Dan, because you're the man.
thanks, Howard. You're the man too. I appreciate that. Yeah, in this week's event, I did vote for myself as well. I usually vote for others because I just, usually really amazed and grateful each week. Um, and I am this week again too. But the past couple weeks I got like level 2 and stuff like that. So, and I've been working really hard. So that's why I voted for myself here. Um, and it looks like I have 100% of the vote now. So thank you everybody for voting. Um, it looks like I know Abraham has been working on this feature of the app to allow us to move to the next round. I think that it doesn't even need that new feature. I think it should allow us to move on because now we have 4 out of 5 votes. But yeah, I guess that feature got reverted or something like that. So it seems like we're having some technical difficulties here. Hmm. I
Is it
suppose.
waiting for a fifth vote?
Yeah, I know Abraham. It used to have it work where if you got 4 out of 5 or you had consensus, even if somebody didn't vote, then it would still allow you to move to the next level. And I know he was
Yep.
also building a feature to make that even easier, but apparently both those features are like removed right now. So now that Zal hasn't voted, it's not allowing us to move to the
Yeah,
next round.
that was one of the features that I am promoting for him because
Hmm.
I needed it for my doctoral because they can't sit there like that. If somebody doesn't do it, we have to move on. So
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, that's a very important feature, obviously. I see Zal said, let's see if I can VPN. Okay, well, thanks, Zal. We appreciate that. I suppose another way we could do too, so we could start up the fractalgram in the Telegram, and that I think everybody knows how to do that. So it's been a little while since I've done that, but I can set that up, and maybe that's a good idea for me to start that up now. So I'll try to set that up now. Thank you, everybody, for the patience as we figure out these, as we get over these hoops. I know Zaal actually. I think Zaal is better at the old fractalgram app than me now because I don't remember what the website is to go to. Oh, Zaal says it should be good to go now with his internet. So let's see if Zaal, if you're able to vote. Okay, take a minute to load from the Netherlands. This is fun. I did find the Telegram app. Okay. And so it looks like Yazal was kind of having you working, but not quite. But I will invite everyone to a Telegram Proctogram where we'll use the older app that we used to use. It's the Telegram client, so I think everybody here is familiar with it. Um, and then I'll share that in the chat, and then we can reach consensus there. And that should be more stable now because that will allow us to reach consensus without having to rely on the newer app. So now everybody should be in this group. I invite everybody, and I just shared the link in the chat here. And if everybody could please open that link and then respond with your Optimism account. to that prompt as a reply to that message. Then we can get back to reaching consensus. Eric, please make sure that it's as a reply to the post.
Oh, sorry. Been a while.
All good. Okay. And we have everybody, but we don't have Jacob. Jacob, can you do that? Okay, we got it now. And so I'll put the level 6 poll and we'd reach consensus on me there. So I just have to put that out to be able to put out the level 5 poll, I believe. And then I'll put out the level 5 poll as well. Thanks everybody for the respect and for the votes, by the way. I appreciate that a lot. And now you should see the polls. And so now we can reach consensus here. I see a couple people voted for me for level 5. So if you could vote, I shouldn't be on this list actually, but I think I created this poll uh, by accident before. Maybe it included me on this list because, all right, a little bit confusing here. I'm going to delete the level 5 poll, and then if you could please submit the votes for level 6 first, then I'll put it to level 5 poll. Okay, cool. Um, and now I shouldn't be on this list. Yep. Okay, cool. And now we can vote between Eric, Howard, and Jacob and Zaal for level 5. Okay. And we have 2 votes for Eric, 1 vote for Jacob, and 2 votes for Zaal. So we don't have consensus. Would anybody like to switch their votes or advocate in any direction?
Um, I'll personally advocate for Eric on this one. Just everything that he's been doing this past week kind of just resonates with me from the public good standpoint and whatever, what are they called? Nonprofits. Yeah. I just see a lot of the same problems trying to be solved there. So, yeah, that's why I'm advocating for Eric on this one.
Okay. Thanks, Jake. I was voting for Zaal there, and I was also voting for you at a time too, but I will vote for Eric because I think that Eric's doing great work, and now we have consensus. And we can move on to level 4. Now, who do you think helped Optimism the third most based on the presentations between Howard, Jacob, and Zaal? So we're missing 1 vote from here. It's like we haven't yet seen a vote from Zaal. I don't know if you're able to, but Zaal has 3 votes, so I think we can have consensus on Zaal. Yep, we have consensus on Zaal. And now we'll go to level 3. And we have consensus on Jacob at level 3. That means that Howard is level 2 for this week. Of course, we'll all get respect because we reached consensus. And now I'll put out the consensus results. And if everyone could please hit where it says results can be submitted here and submit here, that would be appreciated. And we did actually reach consensus in time. Actually, I think that this is, oh, maybe I was hooked up to the wrong this is hooked up to the old smart contract, this interface. So I think we'll go back to the breakout room and I'll just ask Tadas what the new link is because it's now at like fraps XYZ and then there, and then I'll generate the correct link. I think that I may have created the wrong, when I used the wrong thing when I opened up that. So you'll get clarity there. If anybody needs to go because it's top of the hour, then thanks so much for being here and hope you all enjoyed the event. It was a great respec game. And now we'll head back to the breakout room, and then I'll get the clarification about the correct link to submit consensus results. And then we'll have a discussion there as well. I see Zaal said amazing. I'll pop back in a second. Going to be an awesome event. Okay, cool. Sounds good. So thanks everybody, and I'll close all the breakout rooms now and see you back in the community room. Oh, see Howard and Jacob got to go. Need to head out. Hope everyone enjoys the breaks. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great day, and hope you have a wonderful break as well.
Now it's the time.
Nice.
Welcome back.
Thank you. The first thing I heard was Optimism Fractal, I think, or Fractal. Well, yeah, hope everybody had a great time. Nice to see you, Rosmari and Tadas, and Time. Thanks for joining, Time. Welcome. And Harlando, hope you had and Abraham, hope you had a awesome game. We had some issues with the new fractalgram app. We had Zaal had some internet issues, and so he wasn't able to connect to it usually, and then it wasn't letting us fast forward, even though we had 4 to 5 consensus. And so I used the old fractalgram app that's on Telegram. And so that's why we're a bit late to start the delay. But I wanted to ask Das, what is the because I think I might have picked like the old smart contract, so it's picking up like the old optimismfractal.web app. And I'm trying to figure out how to, I guess, take what we have. I think I have to take the whole end of the URL, but then affix that to like fraps.xyz, of.fraps.xyz. So yeah, appreciate everybody's patience with some technical difficulties, and we'll get into more interesting discussions momentarily. But Tadas, if you could maybe write that in the chat, then I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, so you're right. You have to change the prefix of it to of.fraps.xyz.
Okay. Okay. I think I got it to work now. Yep. So I think yeah, Zaal's gonna come back soon, and Howard and Jacob had to go, so I just shared the link, Eric, there in the chat. If you're able to click on that link and then submit results there, then that would be much appreciated. And I'll submit it shortly as well.
By the way, I think for I think it should already like I think I updated Fractalgram to use the new URL for Optimism Fractal.
I don't know if there's like an option, if there's 2 options in there or something like that. When I was creating the like when I was first setting up and I did the prompt, I knew you can pick like between Optimism and EOS and different things. I don't know if there's like an old Optimism option and a new Optimism option, but when I did it, and when I like hit like show consensus results, then I clicked the link and it brought up the one for with the old UI with the optimismfractal.web.app.
What version? So there is a way to check the version of Fractalgram, and so, but we can do this later. So maybe you have the old version somehow.
Maybe I went to go. It's possible. I went through your link in the article, fractalgram.web.app, and it took me there. And if you want, I can follow up in the chat with any technical troubleshooting of that to figure out why it opened up that.
Yeah, let's do this later.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Thanks for the help. Hope everybody had a great final respect game of the season. Did anybody have any comments you want to share on that, or any other thoughts that you want to share before we head into town hall? Okay, but it was good though. It was fun. Very respectful.
Yes.
Okay.
And it worked with even with Fractalgram on mobile, but for Harvesto.
Very nice.
At
Yeah,
least
Harvesto,
up
were you
to
able
submissions.
Yeah, Harvesto, were you able to push the results on chain? Did that work?
Was I meant to do that? I thought, oh,
You don't have
That's
to really,
cool.
but because right now we're either one of us can do it if we have more than I think 300 respect. But
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Okay, I just clicked the button and I'm seeing a response could not connect to all clients.
Mhm.
Yeah, so Abraham warned that on mobile push on chain might not
Oh, yeah, it
work.
doesn't work. Yeah. Yeah, remember we tried that.
Okay. Okay, I also had some like kind of a buggy response to creating a profile. I tried it multiple
Yeah.
times and then it later saved.
So you were doing a few times filling up your profile, and then it wasn't saving,
It
right?
wasn't saving. Yes, until I shared my screen and that worked. So that was when I was able to vote.
Yeah, but Abraham saw that issue, so
Okay.
All right. Well, looks like we're making progress here, and hopefully you enjoyed the game Harvesto. And I saw, speaking of Abraham, he said he had a work issue he needed to handle, but great to see you all. So, yeah, and also Howard said thanks, and Jacob said hope everybody's enjoying the break too. So I suppose we can wrap up the respect game, and we can head into town hall now if that's good for everybody. And we have some important and exciting topics remaining for the town hall. So if that sounds good with everybody, then I'll go ahead and share my screen. And once again, thank everybody for an amazing Optimism Fractal Season 5. This has been incredible past 6 months or so now. And so I'm really grateful for everybody's contributions and everybody's meeting with us here every other week for a while now. And it's been a great pleasure. We made a lot of progress. So thanks everybody for the amazing season and looking forward to seeing you all for next season. And if anybody has any final words for the season, then feel free to jump in. But otherwise, I'll end it. I'll wrap up the Optimism Fractal and we'll head into Town Hall. Well, thanks all, and go Optimism Fractal.